Hello everyone, welcome back to me, Drive Right, and when Saturdays come. I wanted to do another video today. I wouldn't normally put another one on, but something's been bugging me since Plymouth game and what might transpire regarding the situation with the FA and the incident what happened at Plymouth and the indiscipline of Chris, I guess it's got to be said, and some of the players, and what's gone off. And it happened at the Bristol game where we got done 120,000 quid, and it's not helped. I'm finding I think it's becoming a problem, and it's setting a bad example across the fan base or fan bases, and not only at Sheffield United, at Plymouth, at Burnley now. And what I've done, I've put together some videos, some videos on video shots of what's been going off really, and I'd love to know whether I'm wrong or I'm right, or what your opinions are, because to me, firstly, we got done at Bristol and we put it to bed, we got fined, and that's fine. We're now looking at the possibility of another fine after what happened at Plymouth. Could be in the region of 200 grand. Now, if I were an owner of a football club, and either my manager or my players or whatever we're doing, I've got an issue with losing the heads and a lack of discipline on and off the football pitch, then I'd be asking questions. And I'd want to be paying fine. Because I'd be taking it out of the wages if it had been me. If I'd have been the owner of the football club, I wouldn't be paying it. The players would be paying it and the manager would be paying fine. And it goes to FA and they make that decision. For whatever reasons, from the FA, from the referee's report, the assessor's report, it all goes back to FA, they look at it, and then they come back to you and they'll ask the club for their observations on it. So that's what we've got to do now on Wednesdays. I think we've got till Wednesday, Sheffield United, to put their observations in and their side of the story, what happened at Plymouth. Now, what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to put a balanced view on this, because as much as people are having a bash at Sheffield United and having a bash at Chris and players as well, and I do it as well, by the way, and I weren't happy yesterday at Burnley with Anel at all with his indiscipline, because I felt he let the team down big time. But that's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about now. I've just digressed a bit. I digressed a bit there, which I didn't want to do, but anyway. So I put the videos of Chris in the middle. We all the team at the beginning having a chat or whatever, and then there were an incident after with two Plymouth players, and then there were incidents in tunnel, and then there were a quick brief on Sky making comments about it, and then we had a Chris Wilder presser discussing it with Andy Giddens, which he felt were really nothing really happening about it, or nothing was going to come about it, which now has transpired it is. And then we got a picture of Hamza Chowdhury being escorted off at pitch with police at Burnley. Now let's put this in a balanced view. If that had been anywhere, I get the excitement and everybody's happy that they've got into Prem and great, no problem with that. But to run on a football pitch is actually a criminal offence, right? If it happened to me at Bramhall Lane and I run on pitch, I'm going to get chucked out and I'll probably get fined or banned, right? So is that going to happen at Burnley? So that's the question, isn't it? So I'd be dumbstruck really if Sheffield United happened to be pulled into that equation as well, when it weren't Sheffield United's fault. I mean, I get it when there's 30, 40 people diving in on the pitch and all their excitement. You can't be going and having a go at players and assaulting players or whatever you're doing. you know, things happen, transpired again in tunnel. It's not acceptable. Anywhere else, if us as fans, if we go into a town centre on a Friday and a Saturday night and we kicked off like that, we're going to end up getting arrested, we're going to end up putting in nick overnight, we're probably going to get fined or whatever. Now, managers and players have to take a responsibility, as well as fans. And you have to try and set an example to younger fans as well. When you're in the public eye as a manager or a player, and young fans looking up to you, you have to set an example. And you can't go around confronting people on a football pitch or whatever. I know emotions run high and stuff like that, but it's not acceptable to me. And you can't be doing that. And then we had, after the picture I saw, I'll put it all on after this video. You can look at it at your leisure and see what you think. And I want to know what you think. And then we had all that abuse by Burnley fans on our team bus, on Sheffield United team bus. And I can just apologise now to anybody who's watching it. There is some bad language on it, so just be aware of that. So I wanted to make sure you understand that before you watch it. Again, who's going to be responsible for that? Is it Burnley Football Club not keeping the fans in order? You know, that's next. And Chris Wilder's I put another interview on what Chris has said about that as well. When these people are running off pitch and people throwing abuse at players, which is normal from stands. But when you're on a pitch and there's fans surrounding you, if you were a player, an opposition player, and fans coming up to you, and you can accept verbals. We all can accept a bit of verbal. But when there's more to it, you've got to take a step back and think, what am I doing here? You know? So I'm thinking, trying to put a balanced view on this. If Sheffield United are going to get done or fined, are Plymouth going to get done or fined, are Burnley going to get done and fined as well? It's not just all about, it's not all Sheffield United's fault. It's not all Chris Wilder's fault. It's not all the players' fault all the time. I accept that as a fan of Sheffield United, we've got to do better on and off the pitch. And I get really frustrated and disappointed. We've got playoffs coming up, right? We can't afford to be losing our heads on and off the pitch. No matter, I accept that emotions run high, there's a lot at stake, but it don't do our cause any good by doing what we're doing on and off pitch. And we've got to stop that. We've got to put it away and put it to bed, because we can't keep running up fines up to. I mean, what happens if it happens again? If we got, say we got done 200 grand this time, we might end up losing points. We might end up getting for next season. Then what? We're going to be in another. We've already lost 2 points for this year, which has cost us to some degree. But I'm just trying to put my observations, my point of view across, of a balanced point of view between what just happened to Sheffield United. Burnley, Plymouth are responsible, and Burnley are responsible as well. They've got to put their own houses in order. You can't just keep. If anybody from FA ever saw this video, I hope they're going to take notice of. Well, it's not all Sheffield United, you know. Well, that's my point of view on it. I want to just try and put a bit more of a balanced view out there. It's not all Sheffield United problem. It's other clubs and other players and other fans. They're responsible as well. And everybody's got to take responsibility for their actions when they go to a football game, on and off the pitch, including management, including players. And to what I've seen past few weeks, it's been shocking and not acceptable. And players have got to take responsibility and set an example to these young fans. They're very influential young kids when they go to a football match and they see that kicking off. And it boils down to a Sunday morning game. It's an under-10 game and they're kicking off. You know, it happens. I'll tell you, because I've been a scout before and I've seen it. I've seen it happen, and it drifts down, and it's not acceptable. But anyway, that's my point of view. I just wanted to put that out there and see what you think, whether I'm right or wrong. I want to know, because sometimes I think, what am I doing? What's happening here? Are we just letting ourselves down? So, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe to it if you think it's if you think it's worth responding to, and you're putting your comments in. I really appreciate it. And I'd love to know what you think, and I just want to put it out there and just see what you think, what your point of view is, as well as just mine, and see what you've got to say about that. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you again probably before the Stoke game anyway, unless anything else crops up between now and then. And we'll look forward to the game on Friday, isn't it? Okay, up the Blades, and I'll speak to you soon.
Massive 3 points that gets them somewhere near safety.
Yeah, it gives them hope, massive hope, I would think. They've now got to go and show the same sort of spirit and resilience in the next game away at Middlesbrough, which Argyle beat Middlesbrough last year, so they'll obviously remember that and have hope again.
What's been said here, Michael Brown? Chris Wilder's not happy at all.
Well, he's not. You can understand why. He's obviously making it public, having a little word with the side to realise the detail, the level of performance that's expected. I think we've talked so much about the team spirit, the effort that group has for the last couple of weeks, where there's just the pressure, something's changed, obviously not getting the results that we expect, the disappointment will be there, feeling a little bit fragile, and you can see how animated he is there in those pictures, what he'll be demanding, and say what we need to do for the remainder. It's not over. I think that's the point. We go again, we keep doing it. Whether we have to go with a different route through those playoffs, make sure we're ready every single day, the whole squad, I think that will be the message.
A poor result compounded case by the fact that Leeds United have been pressed in 2-0 in a row.
Yeah, but Sheffield United would have wanted to do their job regardless. And the fact that they go 1-0 up in the game, and a Plymouth that look quite toothless in the first half. I mean, usually we see a Sheffield United team.
Sheffield United fans, so, I mean, quite clearly you can see his voice and his disdain. Gets a little bit more aggressive collectively, shall we say, in the tunnel. Maybe from a structural point of view and an organisational point of view, there's a case of not being able to control your players, which is sometimes what's thrown around post-match. But what you saw there, reflection on purely this game, reflection on the week, do you feel, for Sheffield United?
I think he'd do that.
Okay, look, Chris, at the end of the match down at Plymouth, there was a something that ended up in the tunnel. Has there been a fallout or a comeback from that?
I've got the FA have asked us for our observations. As you will obviously have with experience from myself, tell you exactly sort of where it was at. Went onto the pitch at the end of the game, gathered the players, thought it was important. It wasn't, I think Sky put it on as a Phil Brown moment, or as people like to do, sensationalise everything. It was a calm chat with the players to talk about we have to take responsibility for this last performance and 3 games where we've turned a really good position into obviously a not so good position, and we have to own it and accept it. A lot of good things have been said about us this season, but over this 3-game period we haven't been good enough. Time not to split and go our own ways and start using excuses and blame culture and this, that and the other. This club has not been built on blaming, and it's not been built on excuses. It's been built on honesty in opinion and actions. Not to go our different ways, accept the criticism that most probably will be coming our way. We have to deal with it, and most importantly, got to acknowledge 2,500-3,000 of our supporters who've made 2 long-distance journeys now from Oxford to Plymouth, and we've underachieved. So we have to accept that. No reactions. Let's go over to acknowledge their support. Let's get ourselves in, and we need a big week. We need to clear our heads over the weekend, and we need to have a good week starting on Monday, going into Friday, and then let's see where we can take it. As I said, there'll be a lot of people that talk about our season being done and dusted. It isn't. Mathematically, it isn't. We've put ourselves in not a great position, and we've given up an advantage That's all we've done. And we need to be positive in our approach during the week, and that was it. And as we walked off, there's some verbals with a couple of the players, and then you look at it and you go, there's verbal sort of talk between players and whatever, and there's about 70 people going into a really short tunnel, short area, and a tight tunnel area. If you look at it, you go, there's 20 odd players from each side, 40. 10 members of staff, 50, 60, and about 10 stewards. So, listen, it was verbals and stuff like that, but that's we've responded to the FA in terms of observations. No issues with Plymouth Argyle. It's a fabulous result for them, and a poor one for us. Two teams fighting different battles, an emotional game, and. Went to speak to their manager afterwards. Absolutely no issue between two sets of players, two sets of staff, manager to manager. And went to see the referee afterwards, and he said he'd possibly have to stick it in his report, but as far as he was concerned, there was nothing. And same from the assessor.
Fucking cunt! What are you fucking doing? Are you fucking doing that? You fucking knobhead! Are you fucking idiot? What? Go on. Fucking goon! Go get back to the guy. Fucking goon! What? Fuck off!
Well, we were told by the referee before that we'll be getting stewards surrounding us, but I think they went on the missing list, completely went on the missing list. So yeah, it was quite scary out there in the end, where there's people coming and doing bits and pieces. Understandable that their emotions are running high, but I didn't think we got protected by the football club and the stewards at all one bit. And the referee, when I spoke to him afterwards, he noticed that as well. So I suppose when 20 or 30 lads, 40, 50 lads are running at you, shouting bits and pieces and doing bits and pieces, just at the end of a game, it's quite difficult just to get off. But I'll be absolutely stunned if anything comes our way on any of that.
Was it nothing bad was said to him?
Of course, it's going to be bad said to him.
Yeah,
what are they going to say? Unlucky and well done and all the best in the playoffs.
Nothing past the line.
Dear me, and well done. Yeah, shake hands. Yeah, well done.
Nothing too. You know what I mean? Nothing past the line.
No, I don't. Of course there was.